A lot of people wonder, should you invest in Morgan silver dollars if you're interested in purchasing silver and adding to your silver stack? And that's what we're going to be talking about today. Let's get right into this video, but I've thought about this carefully. I feel like I have a strong opinion on it, and I'm interested in hearing if it's the same as yours. We're going to be thinking about some of the pros of Morgan dollars, but then also a lot of the cons, because to be honest, I don't love the Morgan silver dollar. If you're purchasing silver sort of with a mentality that you like the silver price where it is now and feel like it'll grow in the future. Let's get right into the video. So in front of us, I have some Morgan dollars, and you're probably wondering, well, why don't you like these and then you stack them yourself? And I think that that's probably somewhat of a valid question, but I think also I'm sort of on the coin dealing side as well, so I feel like I need to have some inventory in stock. But basically, let's go right back to the silver stacking perspective, and then first think about, what does it mean to be a silver stacker? And I think that this goes back to the conversation of like, hey, you can A, be a coin collector, B, be a silver stacker, C, be both. But I think it's important to really define clearly what your goals are. So say you want to, just accumulate as much silver as you can as possible. I try to front load a lot of the information. Right now, if you go on eBay, you can buy a roll of pre-21 Morgan dollars in really slick condition, like not quite cull, but like good condition, maybe VG for like 710 plus tax. So that's like $35.50 a coin, I think, when the silver value in these isn't much more at the time I'm filming this video than like $16.50. So that's over a 100% premium. And I think that, it's not like every other item is going to have similar premiums. Maybe silver eagles are probably in the same range, like 33 a coin, and silver is at like 22. But that's still, maybe a $6 more of silver, $2 or $3 less of premium. And so that's a big difference even there, like $8 a coin. These have interesting, numismatic value, and, the market for Morgans is not really always that attached to the market for silver. I remember when, silver was maybe the silver content of a Morgan was like 12 or 11, and we were selling them in a coin shop. We'd send them to refiners for like $13.50, or not refiners, but like bulk buyers, or $14, something like that. And so that's what, like a 15-20% premium, and then now we have over 100% premium. Now that being said, it's still really fun to go into this, and I'm going to talk about if you decide to still purchase the Morgan type stuff, how can you do that intelligently? How can you do that in a way that's going to pay off? And I think it's also a good testament to if you had been buying this stuff when silver was, call it like $15-16 for a sustained amount of time, and you were able to get those deals. Well, if you had been buying silver rounds, those have lower premiums today. Maybe it's like 25% over the melt price of about $22.50. So maybe you would have been better to buy Morgans, and maybe there will be continuing divergence. But I think just like the state of how things are right now, I think that divergence between the silver price and between, what premiums are looking like, especially on the Morgans, I just don't think that there's a really compelling reason to be shifting, tons into Morgans when you're thinking about both, and I don't give investment advice, but just like things to consider. But like, what have I done? I have not been buying more silver. With the super high premiums, I really try to wait for opportunities to source as close to spot value and melt value as possible. But I also try to buy intelligently. So the thing is, the coins in front of us, I picked these out of a local dealer's stock not super long ago. That's interesting, that eagle. I don't know if that's, let me look at this eagle. No, that looks similar. I picked this stuff out of a local dealer's stock, and I was paying very close attention. This is 1878. What is the condition of these coins, and can I get maybe a better deal? A few of these are definitely cleaned, but I was careful not to buy coins that were super, had a big scratch in them, or were super worn down, like in that about good range. And I got these at a relatively attractive price. It wasn't a great price. I paid high on a lot of them. Others of these I paid better on. But still having an eye for like, does the coin have decent eye appeal? You can have a coin in the same grade and like this one, not that it has great eye appeal, but it doesn't sort of jump out as being super ugly. I don't love that hit over there and the hits up top, but when you're buying it, the point being was there were a lot of Morgans that I passed up in selecting this slot, or like the wear on this coin, I would consider it, even though it's pretty significant, like to be a pleasing wear in terms of how the coloration of the coin looks. And I think that that won't matter if you go and sell back to a coin shop, but I think if you're putting in a little bit of extra effort and trying to place these with collectors, like sure, then you can recoup some of that smart eye when you can sell them for a little bit more than like the X jewelry Morgan lots with some piece thrown in that go for way less than that, like $700 a roll at the current moment, or $720 or whatever. I think I could probably sell these coins. They're in maybe a little bit better shape when the average is or the low is like 35.50 for pre-1921 Morgans. I think that this could probably go for like 38 or like to a collector. And maybe I'm being a little bit ambitious, but I the point being is like 1879, coins from and there's plenty of like the 1900 and 1904 here, but I sort of have a bias towards like first year coins if I can get them. This does not look that good, but like it's 1878 and I don't think it has anything special with the tail feathers, but that's a first year. It's 26 years older. It's 26 years older than the 1904. I feel like people who are casual collectors like buying older stuff than like this, which I think it's probably a little below XF, maybe XF40 on a really good day. Probably not. This coin still has a good look to it in the sense that there's detail in the hair. It's not super worn down. It has some visual appeal to it, and it's not like worn super slick. And I did get a few. Look at that, or look at this coin. But like I think that wear, I don't love the scratch up there. Maybe this was one of the worst ones that I bought. But the wear still actually doesn't look horrible on it, and it looks like it has a circulated feel to it in a nice way. So for people who want to also do the Morgan collecting thing, I think it's great. I think you should learn VAMs. That's something I'm getting better at. I currently am not like a master of, I don't know beyond a few big ones which ones to look for. But that's definitely something a skill that can be cultivated and you can do quite well with, being that there are so many different nice die varieties here. I think that you can, go and also stack with a collecting angle where maybe you're putting together a date run. So, 1893, you don't buy the 93S, you just buy the regular 1893 coin. You make it a little fun, or you do it while paying no premium. You just try to assemble some mini collections. Like there's really fun ways of doing it, or a full collection, and you just try to go really slow, buying a coin. I don't even love how that coin looks. Let me see. These coins honestly are not like super collection quality. They're nice. I think that they look good, but like if you can buy this for the price of like a generic super worn Morgan dollar, and then you can do that. So this is a 1900 and you can get one of each type, or one of each like date and mint mark, and they can look like this. Obviously you're gonna have to pay up for the better dates, but like the semi-rare or just like having a awareness of like, 1884S is like a semi-key date, but you can find some sometimes that that there's not much of a premium in lower grades, but there's some lower mintage years, and that sort of mentality going forward can help you put together a more intelligent Morgan dollar silver stacking way of doing it. Even though, again, I think when the premiums are over 100% on the silver, like silver could go up $10 and the price of Morgans could go down $6. Like, and that would be then it would be $26 of silver in a Morgan dollar, and $30 is what they're trading for. And I don't think that drastic of a switch would happen, but if you had some other thing that's tracking closely to the silver price, or a little bit closer, like junk 90% silver is a really good example. I think that is a little more attractive if you're really just thinking about it from a silver perspective. Obviously the silver dollar, classic, iconic American coin, I'm not taking any of that away from these. You just have to again, going back to something I bring up a lot, always go back to what are you doing this for? Define your goals clearly, make a plan, stick to it. If you can buy these from your local coin store, that's probably better, because the online places, there's so much competition and bidding and people wanting to buy that it's a lot tougher to do that. So with that being said, thanks for watching this video. I hope that this was helpful. I really don't recommend doing this if you don't have some other reason that motivates why you could be buying, but at the same time, they're just awesome coins. I love them, and I stack a bunch of them. So, in addition to having some inventory, people want different dates for their collection. People have different things, reasons that they're buying. But thanks for listening. I'll try to have more silver stacking content in the future, and I'll see you on those videos. Thanks for watching the video. Be sure to like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to Treasure Town, and get in touch with me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Also, check out my website, treasuretowncoins.com, for news and updates related to the channel and collectibles in general. Lastly, there's a link tree in the description with links to all of my other sites, as well as some affiliate links that can support the channel. But with that being said, have a great day, and I'll hope to see you on some of my videos in the future.